21st overall, you had your choice of the guy you took, Jalen Reagor, also Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk. Why did you take the young man out of TCU 21st overall? What'd you like about him?
Man, this was a heck of a receiver draft. Everybody knew that, and it was like going to Dunkin' Donuts and sitting there with your family and picking out your favorite donut. You know, you really couldn't go wrong with the amount of talent that they had. And so when we look at this, we try to do things that fit our team, that fit what we have, what we need, and, of course, you know, the evaluation of the player. And all those guys you named, we had a lot of love for those guys, too. They're heck of players. They're really good players. But, you know, Jalen, when we thought about Jalen and what he could add to our offense, what his skill set is, you know, this is an explosive guy who can separate on the outside vertically. He can run those go routes, those post routes. He's good on those jet sweeps. He's good in the backfield. He's a returner, so he's really good with the ball in his hands. He's explosive. You know, when you look at his testing, we thought he played a lot faster than the 4.47, and then you see, you know, his unbelievable vertical and broad. And we have some familiar. We know his dad. You know, he played for us, Monte, and so we knew the kid really well. And when we think about what a guy like this can do when you have him on the outside, and obviously we got Deshaun as probably one of the best speed receivers in the history of the NFL, and learning from him, and our intermediate targets, our tight end room, which we think may be the best in the NFL, and Zach and Dallas, and you know, we have Alshon and JJ who drafted last year, and Miles Sanders, and just the way our quarterback likes to play, and you could see it going back and watching our tape when he's throwing the ball down the field, and it just opens up everything else. And I remember going back about 2 weeks ago and rewatching some of our season and watching our first game against the Redskins, and there was one play where D-Jack was streaking down the sideline, and our slot receiver Nelson Aguilar was streaking down the middle of the field, and the thing that was most apparent to me was Zach Ertz was standing in the middle of the field wide open with his hands raised. Now, Carson threw it to Deshaun and caught a touchdown.
Yeah.
But some of those things, you know, they can just really open up the field. And, you know, I learned under Coach Reed, and you've seen what he's done with the targets he's got in Kansas City.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Everyone wants to obviously replicate that as best as possible with speed. But when did Reagor have you? Did he have you at hello? Like, was it at the combine? Was it a piece of tape in particular? What was it?
Well, it was funny because, you know, we really start the process right after the draft and in May. And in May, I knew there was a chance that this was going to be a loaded. You always hear kind of we always try to look a year out and see the strengths of the draft a year out. And we knew it was going to be a really strong receiver draft, so I started watching them. And when you looked at his 18 tape, it was phenomenal. You know, he's a 19-year-old true sophomore, and it was phenomenal. So he really got on the radar of May of last year, and then just following him and seeing some of the plays that he made that were just really fun to watch. And, you know, we got Pro Bowl quarterback, so I think he'll really benefit from that as well.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.